ask anybody, and it's like they're gonna think about the, like you said, Bob, in the one promo that we run, how many interceptions went off my frying pan hands. Those are the ones. Those are the ones.
Those were your words, by the way. I was just repeating them back.
Yeah. Well, you brought it up, but it was hurtful. No.
You're still carrying it with you. My bad.
No. I mean, look, that's just being a professional, and so just to be clear, it wasn't like he was mad at Dan at all. Like I said, he said Dan gave him more than enough, so he's just mad at himself. But yeah, I mean, I love that kind of fire, and really, you get that same thing from Kirby. You get that from Logan Gilbert. I mean, Miller, you don't really see that from that much.
He's kind of the same all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's an on or off switch with him. He just is. Right. That's just kind of who he is during the game, which suits him. I mean, we'll see his next start. What comes of that. Meanwhile, so Wu still he didn't get you the 6. He's given you every single start. 25 starts in a row of 6 innings or more. Yeah. That came to an end with 5 2/3, but still 2 runs, phenomenal. He's your guy. Gino is heating up, and that is huge for this lineup. That is such a big deal to have that guy being productive. You're still going to get swing and miss. That's just part of who he is, who he's always been. They're going to be. It's like Cal. Cal strikes. The strikeouts. It's a big number, but you get a lot of production like Cal with Gino typically. I mean, look at their numbers. These guys are producers. So having him heat up the way he is massive for this lineup.
Well, and then just all of the other type of things, and and I wrote this down in my notes, the nice guy point. Because we bring up, okay, he's a nice guy, but what does that mean? I mean, most of the time what it means is he's a really, really good teammate. And today, he went 2 for 4, had 3 RBIs, the home run. He only struck out once. And, the thing that Dan said about him, he said his superpower is that he is the same guy every day.
Yeah.
Every single day. So, he's just steady, and, and that's what we mean on our show, because I instantly thought of that. Like, that people get pissed off when we're like, oh, yeah, but he's a really good guy. Well, that has to do more with the fact that his teammates can rely upon him. And they know exactly what they're going to get every single day. And there's a real value to that. But like you said, him heating up, I love watching him hit. I like watching the throw across the diamond. I mean, that always is good. He's got a very good throwing arm. But I love watching his at-bats, man. And you just feel like he can – and, Angie was talking about today on the broadcast that, his stance, his batting stance is very unusual.
Well, he's got that open stance, and he just kind of rests the bat on his shoulders like he's just kind of posing up there, and then –
all of a sudden he just explodes.
Yeah, it's his timing mechanism.
Yeah. And so, I think that was, and one of the things Angie said about it was that, he feels like if he stays square, like most guys do, that he over-rotates his upper half. And so that's the reason, that's the little mechanism for him so that, he can square up the ball. And man, when he gets a hold of one, I mean, it just bounces off the bat.
Yeah, it was, and you needed it. I mean, for the most part, the lineup kind of got shut down today. I mean, he drove in 3 of the 4 runs. The other one was Luke Raley, and good to see that for him. Yeah. He goes 1 for 2 on the day with that RBI. But, you had Rosarena go 0 for 4. Cal went 0 for 3. Julio went 2 for 4. Naylor had a hit. Feels like he's got at least 1 hit in every game.
Yeah.
But just in terms of production, Crawford 0 for 4, Young 0 for 3. They had 7 total hits, and 4 of them came from Julio and Gino. So it wasn't a big offensive day in terms of the lineup 1 through 9 getting it done. But it was timely. It was big for the game, big to win the series, certainly. And then just seeing Gino continue to look like he's starting to heat up, and he's starting to find it again. It's coming at the right time because, you got, 29 games to go now? Mm-hmm. It's just in hitting the road. The road has been problematic. We just thought that last road trip was nothing. There was nothing good about that. So hopefully we're looking at a different version of this team on the road, and they're going to carry maybe some of this momentum, into what they're going to be facing on the road. But you got to keep up. And, you're sitting a game behind the Astros now in the division. You're a game and a half. You got that 3rd wild card spot, but the Yankees and Red Sox are tied. in the wild card. So you're a game and a half behind both those teams. You got a 3.5 game lead over the Royals right now, and all these teams are winning. The Yankees have won 4 in a row. Mm-hmm. The Red Sox have won 2 in a row. They've won 6 of 10. The Royals have won 6 of 10. So all these teams around you are hot, whereas the Mariners have dropped 6 of 10. So it's coming at the right time. And again, beating a team like the Padres, who came into this thing sitting atop the NL West, tied with the Dodgers, that was big. That was big. So hopefully there's some carryover. I know they get a day off tomorrow. Friday they start their series on the road, and hopefully they're going to bring some of the good vibes, the good feelings out there on the road with them, because they need it.
Yeah, and, I think the Cleveland is a lot less pesky without Josh Naylor there. So
yeah,
that'll be nice. But, yeah, it's a pretty tough road trip. I mean, you're going to Tampa for 3 as well, and then Atlanta. So, yeah, this will be interesting to see. But I just thought, man, it was – they scored 9 runs, 6 runs, 4 runs today, and it just feels like – I feel like in the past we would have lost these games and there wouldn't have been any production, but you just are getting, Gino in particular, and we're all kind of wondering when's he going to heat up, and we're in the middle of it right now. So really refreshing to see that. And, I think they're leaving today, to get on the road and get there. And then, start this massive away stand here of 12 games? No, 9 games.
Yeah, starts on Friday, day off tomorrow. Another guy we saw down there in the clubhouse was Emerson Hancock. He was called up, and all indications are he could be your long relief guy. We'll see what their plan is for him, but he had a couple turns down there in Tacoma where the velocity was way up. He was hitting 99 on the gun out there, which is big. So I don't know what their plan is. If they look at him as are we going to maybe step him into this, put him in some, not stick him in these high leverage situations right out of the gate, or maybe they will. Maybe they're going to put him in the deep end and say, all right, if one of the starters gets knocked around and you got to take him out early, it would seem like he would be the go-to guy. Vargas right now is your long relief guy, but having somebody like Hancock, who's obviously been stretched out, who's been a starter, that's big to have that guy should things go wrong for your starter. This is a guy who can eat up some innings, or maybe they've got him focused on a particular pocket of a lineup that he's got to face. I'm curious to see how they use him.
Yeah, that will be interesting. And remember, that was he was somebody that our guy Charlie Furbush kind of defended early on when he went out with that first start this year, and he's got some good stuff. So it's kind of interesting to me, just the different mindset for him and how they can use him to, in different spots rather than being a starter. And maybe, like Charlie always says, I mean, everybody starts off as a starting pitcher. You don't just start off as a bullpen pitcher, and wonder if maybe, that might be his superpower.
Yeah. The other thing we did while down in the clubhouse is we had a conversation with Josh Naylor. Finally able to catch up with him. You guys can hear that interview tomorrow. It was an interesting conversation. He's we're talking about Wu being intense and focused. That is a very just tunnel vision guy, and he's very direct in his answers. He doesn't smile a lot. He's very serious, and a couple times he made me laugh or you laugh, and he almost looked at us like, what are you laughing at? That was kind of the look on his face, like, I don't know why that's funny.
Well, both times that we've mentioned Josh, I see Lefko's face lighting up and laughing down there because he was very, very interesting guy. I don't want to say he's kind of peculiar a little bit, but
he's intense.
Well, he's very intense, and I think that's a really cool asset to bring to this. It seems like a pretty light clubhouse, right? That lots of joking around and everything. I mean, they're all about business, of course. I mean, like you said, Wu and Logan Gilbert and Kirby and certainly Cal. I mean, they're intense dudes, but this guy is like, he lives and breathes baseball. Doesn't necessarily want to watch it, but
you'll hear that.
It's all about playing and just being the absolute best that he can be. So I think he brings a really interesting element. And then on the other side of the spectrum, you've got Victor Robles, who is just kind of I love watching that guy play. I mean, he's just so energetic and So yeah, I mean, they've got a great mixture right now, and this is going to be a very interesting road trip to see if they can get it done.
Yeah, definitely. I would highly recommend tuning in tomorrow for that conversation with Josh Naylor. We'll play it tomorrow, and he's an interesting dude. I think Mariner fans are going to appreciate him, and I think they already do based on what they've seen on the field. But you don't get exposed to his personality very much,
right.
To this point. He's still new to a lot of people. So that was pretty cool. Meanwhile, week one just got a bit more interesting for this Seahawks team. We'll explain what that's about as we continue live from T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710.
Cal swinging a well-hit ball deep to left field.
The season of Cal continues.
Upper deck, goodbye baseball, number 50.
As Cal rewrites the history books and builds his case for MVP, this is where you hear it all.
Just trying to stay focused on the main goal, and that's winning baseball games.
The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports on 710 and Seattle Sports on YouTube.
It is motorcycle weather. This summertime is my time. I love getting out on the bike as often as possible for as long as the weather's good, and a lot of my friends doing the same thing. I've certainly heard from some of you guys on the text line that are riders, some that have been involved in accidents. I'm knocking on whatever this is made of that I don't get involved in one. I haven't as of yet. But if you are a rider and you are somebody that's been injured in a motorcycle crash and you're talking to law firms, do yourself a favor. Don't settle for a firm that tells you they're motorcycle lawyers. Trust the ones who actually live it. That's Law Tigers. They've been a part of the riding community for nearly a quarter century nationwide, and they are available when you need them most. You're in an accident, you need that individual to point you in the right direction, help you get everything situated. That's who they are. That's where they are. 24/7, 365 days a year, because riders deserve real support when they need it most. And Law Tigers is the resource riders can turn to when they're in need. Now, you see them everywhere, incredibly visible. All the events, they're out there. They're out there supporting all the clubs, all the shops. You see the tents, you see the vans. The Law Tigers are always there by your side. And even better, your case evaluation, completely free. No fees until your case settles. So they don't get paid until you get paid. That's the Law Tigers. You never ride alone with Law Tigers, Washington's motorcycle lawyers. Jimmy Cook, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. We offer 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 24 months on new roofs. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Was drafted in 1999 by the Philadelphia 76ers, and that was just absolutely a dream come true.
Todd's playing in the NBA is unique. His battle with neuropathy is not.
I first started noticing problems a couple years into my NBA career, and I felt like my sock was just balled up right in the arch of my foot, and there'd be areas of burning and tingling, and then there'd be other areas of deadness where there would be no response to touch. We tried everything possible, from surgery to different drugs, to try and take care of some of the symptoms.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, non-drug, pain-free procedures that have helped thousands of neuropathy sufferers find relief.
Now I'm able to spend more time doing the things that I enjoy, being on my feet.
If you experience numbness, shooting, or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Bump letting you know the Labor Day sales event is on at West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Get the 2025 Ram 2500 or 3500 heavy duty for $8,000 off MSRP on credit approval. West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, part of the Hazelwood Auto Group.
Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer lets you easily compare direct rates from different insurance companies, so you can be confident you're getting the right one, even if it's not with Progressive. Way more confident than you were when you bought that TV in a parking lot. It just happened to not come in a box or include a remote. And when you finally managed to turn it on, all it displayed was the menu of Grumpy's Tacos. So use Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer and be confident you're getting insurance that's right for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger, Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten, classics are remixed, bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We continue live from T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com. Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. You guys can weigh in on the Mariners. A great homestand here. Again, probably should have been a sweep, but it went the wrong way last night. That was a little frustrating. Got off to a horrible start. They battle back, take the lead, and then the bullpen coughs it up. Yeah. So that one was a bit rough. Felt like you let one slip away. But ultimately, you win the series. You had a great homestand, and now they take to the road. Day off tomorrow. They get back to it on Friday. Meanwhile, Seahawks made a few moves today. They cut Shaq Griffin and claimed Darian Kendrick off waivers from the Rams. So that, I guess, exchanged one for the other. When we were talking about the initial cuts yesterday, I was surprised that Shaq made it, just based on how little we saw of him out there. And it just, I don't know. I don't know what he has left in the tank, but they didn't seem to be putting much on him in the way of showing what he could do out there. So I thought he was going to be a casualty, be a cut, and he made the roster, but then only to live to the next day and then be cut. So does that surprise you at all?
Not really. The surprise thing there is the Darian Kendrick move, getting him from the Rams, just because we don't really know that much about him. And, and it's pretty rare. How many other guys did they sign off of other cut lists? I think he is the only one, or was there another Ram player? But anyway, yeah, I mean, that's always kind of surprising to me, but it's going to happen because they have a pro personnel department that's looking at guys. And, and again, he's a fourth-year guy out of Georgia. I think Shaq got beat for a touchdown over the weekend, and then he just didn't look dynamic. He didn't look super quick, and then
you think why wouldn't they cut him right out of the gate? You think they're waiting to see who became available from another squad to say, okay, we're keeping him for insurance until we see somebody we like better, and then, okay, now we like this guy better. So,
yeah, I think it went that way. Yeah, absolutely. Looking at Kendrick, and then, Yeah, and I think also you're just giving him one more chance to let's see if he can do this and that. And it could be something very specific that they're looking for, whether it's just quickness or his footwork and stuff like that. And can we play with this guy? Yeah, that's the thing about Mike McDonald. He's very particular, and he's also very different as far as what he values. And and I think John has a really good handle on that. Of what guys a good example, and we talked about this yesterday, Bob. Mike Morris. Mm-hmm. I don't really get it, but there is something about him that he really likes, and I know one of the things is versatility, because they did that in that defense in Baltimore. And then last year, you saw Big Cat just lining up everywhere. They really value that in defensive line. And, yeah, because, when they went and got Big Cat, I mean, I know that Mike McDonald, that was his full endorsement there, because he can rush from the 9 spot. He can rush over the center, the guard, tackle, anywhere. So, yeah, they have very specific, and I would say the same thing about Patty O. And I felt like he didn't, need to be cut. I thought he played really well. But, it's just they're very specific, and we're kind of trying to get used to what they see not so much on offense, but on defense, definitely. It's very it's kind of hard to figure out what they value, and I think that it's something very specific.
Well, we did see the 17-man practice squad was announced. And reading from Brady's list, all 17 were with Seattle in camp. Then they were waived or released yesterday. There were 2 reported additions to the practice squad who had been with other teams, but those evidently aren't official yet, according to Brady when he sent this out. So some of the more notable names on this list are LeMaya is on the practice squad. Satoa LeMaya, Damian Martinez, the running back they drafted this year in the 7th round. Patrick O'Connell is on. I'm actually kind of surprised he didn't get snapped up by another team.
Me too. So again,
they know what they're doing, I guess.
No. Well, and like all the other teams, pretty much endorsed the cut, right? Because nobody picked him up.
Yeah. So he was there to be had. So he's on the practice squad. Jarek Reed, Jamie Sheriff, Ricky White III, Jacardia Wright. All of the notable names. There's some other names on there as well. But, yeah, those are the ones that we've had conversations about that are now part of the practice squad. So good to see him back in the fold.
Yeah.
O'Connell is the one that I thought for sure somebody's going to, whether it was just a depth move or whatever, that somebody would snap him up. But, the Seahawks must have had a strong sense. We've got a good shot at him coming back, so we feel okay with making this move.
Well, and same thing with Jamie Sheriff. I thought he would get picked up somewhere, because that was one of the guys that they, when we go into the last preseason game, there's a lot of times where, and this is a thing. But John will tell us, hey, let's downplay this guy a little bit, and it sounds kind of silly, but. I talked to Dave Pearson about it, and it's like, these other teams are scouring like the internet and things like that. And if they're looking like, yeah, they really like this guy, or, this coach told me this guy, I mean, those are the kinds of things you want to avoid, just because other teams do that.
Yeah, they might think, the goofy analyst is going to let something slip he shouldn't have. And, you could have said, hey, I was talking to John the other day. He's raving about this guy. They love this kid, or they love this guy. And
exactly. Well, and Jamie Sheriff got a sack in that game, and I didn't call it. I didn't give him credit for it.
So that was a nice play by whoever that was.
Well, I credited somebody else. But, so that was a mistake, actually on purpose for the first time for me. But, yeah, I mean, it was kind of interesting to see, just like I said, what they value. And, sometimes it's not exactly what you would think, and sometimes it's not what goes out on the field. I mean, they're looking at practice. They're looking at all kinds of different things. And but again, they got most of the guys back, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that makes sense. I mean, you bring someone else in. I mean, they better be a huge step better than the guys that you had in camp, because you've had them here, and they know the defense, or they know the offense. And so, if it's like really close, and maybe the guy's a little bit more athletic or whatever, we got a guy who has been through camp, and he knows the offense, or he knows the defense. And so, I think it worked out pretty good for them.
Real quick before we hit the break here, MVS, they release him.
Yeah.
He was immediately picked up by the San Francisco 49ers, so they're going to face him in week 1. What does he bring to the table for them in the way of information? Is there anything that they don't already know? I mean, I guess it's week 1, so you don't really have tape other than, I don't know how much they glean from preseason, but is he a guy that can go in there and go, look, this guy's not good at covering this kind of route. This guy can be had. They like to do this in this situation. I mean, how much of that do you think he really has under his belt to bring to the table?
Well, I think it's a pretty similar system for what they run as far as that goes. But I do think there's some value in what you just said, like with individuals. Hey, I beat this guy on the inside every time in practice. So, yeah, I mean, that kind of information, I think is probably, but they're aware of that and they know. So
yeah,
that one, and would they end up blowing $1.5 million, I think, because it was half the. And I guess the Niners picked up the other half, or I'm not sure if that's the same contract or whatever. But anyway, the net loss for the Seahawks was 1.5.
Yeah, we'll see if he plays spy and has any information out there. And if he was beating somebody repeatedly, I would guess the Seahawks would probably keep him.
When I went to Denver, everybody was asking, well, what about this and that? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I mean, they were asking about our defense. I'm like, it's very plain. It was kind of like in '92, we were a really good defense. And so people were giving me crap about, he didn't know anything. He doesn't have any information whatsoever. And
people on the Broncos were giving you a hard time?
Yeah.
Say, watch the film, dude. It's not that intricate.
Yeah,
they do what they do.
It's very basic.
All right, coming up, there is one looming concern coming out of this series win over the Padres. We'll get into that coming up next as we continue live from T-Mobile Park with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
And the pitch on the way to Junior.
It's been 27 years since a Mariners slugger has reached the half-century mark.
Breaking ball, belted into the upper deck.
Look out, Junior. You've got company.
Upper deck goodbye baseball number 50 for Cal Raleigh.
This is where you hear Cal's quest for 56.
Magical.
And the Mariners push to the playoffs. Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman. You know, honesty and integrity is what sets Dr. Mark Wagner at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine apart from others. And I've been working with Dr. Wagner now for a couple of years, and he was really straight with me. My right knee needs to be replaced, and he told me that. So he said, I can't really do anything for you, and I really appreciated that, Bob. And after hearing, me talk about Dr. Wagner, you decided to go see him for yourself. And what was your experience like?
Well, it was much like yours. I went in there with multiple issues in my hip, 14 years of jiu-jitsu and sparring had taken its toll on my body. So I had already had the MRI. I had a torn labrum. I had a frayed tendon. I had arthritis. I had 4 different things going on. And he looked at the film and he said, this isn't going to fix everything you've got going on, but it's going to go a long way into helping you. So for me, that was good enough to avoid surgery. I heard you talking about the 90-minute outpatient procedure. I said, why not do this? And if it doesn't work, then I'm going to have surgery. So I did it, and I couldn't be happier that I did it. Now I can walk long distances without pain. I can sleep, basic things getting through the day. So it was a huge, huge moment for me.
Well, and most importantly, you're able to go out and do karate in the garage now.
Exactly right.
Oh, jiu-jitsu, we know that. All right, so whether it's a shoulder, hip, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
Your new beginning starts now. D.R. Horton has new construction homes available throughout the greater Seattle area. With spacious floor plans, flexible living spaces, and home technology packages, you can enjoy more cozy moments and sweet memories in your beautiful new home. With new home communities opening throughout the Seattle area, D.R. Horton has the ideal home for you. Visit drhorton.com to learn more. D.R. Horton, America's builder. An equal housing opportunity builder.
For Riverside Roofing, beyond the national accolades is a family company from right here in Marysville that's built upon important local values like trust. That's why Riverside Roofing is the roofing company you can trust. Find them at riversideroofingllc.com.
Let's go!
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Matt Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Your car steering wheel could be a ticking time bomb. At least 24 people have died and many more injured because their airbags fired shrapnel at them upon inflating. Tens of millions of cars have been recalled. If you suffered cuts that required stitches, hearing or vision loss, or broken bones, please contact us today. You could be owed money for medical bills and other damages.
Morgan & Morgan. Visit us at badairbags.com for an office near you. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Is it me, or is it musty?
Oh, damp. Check the bathroom.
Damp! Wait!
Yeah?
I'm ordering damp rid!
Get rid of the damp by trapping excess moisture with Damp Rid.
You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Superior Linen Service. 98 years providing logoed apparel, uniforms, floor mats, linens, and more. Give us a call. We answer the phone. Superior Linen Service. Visit suplinen.com.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Hey, it's Dr. Coogan from Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. We've been fortunate to work with over 4,000 local people and help them hit some pretty amazing weight loss goals. I'm joined by two of them right now, Mike Salk and Ryan Rowland Smith. Mike, you were able to lose about a pound per day for over a month, 35 pounds in total.
Well, as much as I'd love to take all the credit, really, I was just following the plan. Eastside Weight Loss Clinic made it super easy, and there really was no part I struggled with. I was eating delicious, fresh food, all while losing weight. The accountability from your team was great. It just helped me keep the focus. I felt catered to the entire way, and I think Ryan really had a similar experience.
No doubt about it. I just finished up the program, and I can't believe how well it worked. I wish I would have started sooner. Talk about motivation. So, thanks for the recommendation.
No surgery, no exercise, no packaged meals, no drugs or injections. Just delicious food and a plan that works. Schedule a free 15-minute consultation today at eastsideweightlossklinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
You're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We continue live from T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710. Mariners take the series from the Padres, so they take to the road. They've got tomorrow off. They get back to it on Friday for a road trip, and we are down to a precious 29 games to go. Man, the season just goes so fast, especially now. Every game we're sitting there looking at scores for the Red Sox, what's going on with the Yankees, what's going on with the Astros, and yeah, I love that stuff. I love that every game, and not just the Mariners games, but all the other games matter. I'd still love a 10-game lead. That'd be great. But this makes it fun, and it makes you're invested all the way to the very end. So we'll see how things go on this road trip. But what they're going to need is somebody beyond Wu to step up on the road, and that's been problematic for basically everybody on this team, especially the guy we saw pitch last night, Luis Castillo. He's a guy that I've been saying if the playoffs started today, he would have been my number 2. Wu would be my number 1. Castillo had a tremendous July, ERA of 2.05, I believe. August, the wheels have come off. He's had one good start in August, and you look at where he's been every other game. I mean, last night he got lit up early. The good part is he was able to lock it down after that and give them some innings, which is a big deal, allowed them to get back in the game. and come away with the lead. But you can't bury your. It's sort of like Bryce Miller the other night. We're going, well, he locked it down after he gave up 4 runs. Like, that's good. It is a good thing, but you can't bury yourself. You can't dig this hole and go, well, you almost got out of it. You got to be able to limit the damage, especially in these games. And Luis, you've got different expectations. He's the most seasoned guy in this rotation. He's the highest paid player on this team. And he's a guy that has the resume, yet I don't know what's happening with him. He's catching the fat part of the plate on a lot of these balls that are leaving the yard. The velocity's down. This game, he goes 5 innings, 5 runs, 3 walks. The command just was not there. You look at the game before that, 4 innings, 3 runs. Game before that, 4 innings, 6 runs. I mean, there's 3 bad starts in a row. He had that gem against Tampa Bay, 7 innings, 2 runs. But the game before that, he lasts 4 1/3. He only gave up 2 runs, but he throws 87 pitches in 4 1/3. I mean, part of it is limiting the runs. Obviously, that's the most important. But you got to give this team some length. You can't throw it on a bullpen that, like any other bullpen, is kind of hit and miss. You got guys that are going to give it up. So, and he's kind of been an every other start guy. Even in July, you look at it. July 28th, he goes 7 innings, 1 run. Brilliant. Game before that, 5 innings, 6 runs, 3 of them earned. Not good. Game before that, 6 2/3, no runs. Great. Game before that, 5 innings, 3 runs. So it's kind of all or nothing with him. And this month, his ERA, he had a 2.05 ERA in July. In August, he's got a 6.66 ERA.
Ooh,
Evil.
That's a bad number.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you getting the connection? You get what's going on here, Dave? It's the devil's work.
Right away, it is the devil's work.
It's up to the devil's business here. But no, it's concerning just seeing the drop in velo, the lack of results, the inability to go deep into a game outside of 1 out of his 5 starts in August. 4 of them have been bad.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see. Well, I'm not excited, I guess, but I mean, we were talking about this with Dylan Moore, and for Luis, he's going to be 33 here this coming December. So, is this kind of him tailing off, or is it just, and I think the complaints in the past with him have been, he gives up a lot of home runs, more than anybody else in the rotation, but now all of a sudden you're starting to see, he's given up 8 home runs the last in this month. So, and then, like you said, the other thing is, I mean, they've been able to get his pitch count up and not very many innings. I mean, you look at the 2 4-inning outings against Philly and the Mets, they got his pitch count up to 88 and 95 in those 2. So, yeah, and only going 4 innings in that situation. So it's kind of, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if he has a similar outing like he has over the last month, really. Are we starting to think of, he's getting to be old and it's starting to tail off, or is it just that bad matchups, or
I don't know. He's a guy, like I said, I felt like he was the second best, most consistent pitcher on this team behind Brian Wu, and then August it's just been a different story, and then again with the velo dropping off and him just unable to locate. I don't know if it's a mechanical thing, if he's in there looking at film going, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, or does he have soggy arm? I don't, only he knows. Only he knows what's going on. It's happening at the wrong time of year. Every pitcher's going to throw out a dud. We just saw right on that road trip, every one of these guys are capable of throwing a dud out there. But it's just, this is the time of year where you need, I tweeted out before the game. I was like, all right, Luis, we need you to be the Rock tonight. It's funny. The comments are like, oh, yeah, he really was the Rock, right, Bob? Like, whoa. I said, we need you to. I didn't say he was going to be. It wasn't a prediction. It was a request. Mm-hmm. So people are ready to, light him up and say he's washed. And I'm not ready to say that, but I don't feel that confident when he takes the hill right now.
Well, it's kind of like with Dylan Moore. I was like, I didn't really say, he was going to be the everyday starter. I said, maybe he can be that guy. Is that similar to you?
Yeah. It rings a bell.
No, I'm just looking at some of the home runs that he's given up, and his first year he was an all-star. Well, actually, that was his second year here. He got traded the year prior, 2022, and he gave up a good number of home runs, 28 there, and that used to be the thing that bothered you the most. But now, I mean, some of the outings, he's gotten his pitch count up there and just not been the rock.
Yeah, it's we'll see. We got, as we said, 29 games to go. He's got a couple more turns, so we'll see what he looks like. But, right now, beyond Wu, how would you set up that rotation? I don't really know. I don't, it's not like anybody else has really grabbed the bull by the horns and said, this is who I am again. We've seen great starts out of, certainly in that first series, every starter allowed just one run. So they all showed it here at home. But who's going to be that team if we're talking about playoffs on the road? Who do you have the most faith in? So it's just not a good trend. It's just not a good trend right now for him. But we'll see if he can get things turned around because they need him. They need him to be the rock. They needed it last night. They need it next time he starts, and hopefully he can, whatever's going on, if it's a mechanical thing, they can get that ironed out. Meanwhile, we'll get a different perspective on the AL MVP race. You're going to hear our conversation with the one, the only Il Hombre, Michael Bradley. That is coming your way next with Wyman and Bob live from T-Mobile Park. It's Seattle Sports on 710.
And the pitch on the way to Junior.
It's been 27 years since a Mariners slugger has reached the half-century mark.
Breaking ball, belted into the upper deck.
Look out, Junior. You've got company.
Upper deck goodbye baseball number 50 for Cal Raleigh.
This is where you hear Cal's quest for 56.
Magical.
And the Mariners push to the playoffs. Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.